Oh man, I just dropped something that I really need. I have no idea where it went. It's in a spot that I can never be able to retrieve it. What am I gonna do? Well, you just pick up your FOCLEN LCD handheld digital endoscope model F0113. That is rechargeable. You just pick this bad boy up. You fish it up behind the wall. You fish it down into your motor, wherever you dropped whatever at, and then you can find it. This is one of the items that I've highly recommended to everybody for, I don't know, over a decade now, having one of these. But we've moved so far into the future, prices have come down, things are a lot nicer to deal with. So let's just bring this to new, modern take, which is affordable, to the table and look at it. And, you know, I love these things. I've always recommended them. I have an older model one now, which is kind of battery powered, real tiny screen, not that very long of a cable to it, but this one's going to alleviate all my problems. And I'm going to, you know, figure out if we want to suggest this to you or not. So here's the box. Once you unbox this guy, this is what you get. You get the unit itself. You also get this cable here, which is 5 meters in length, which is about like 16 feet or so. So you should be able to get to anything down a wall or something like that with no issues. This is pretty long, lengthy cable. And also, it's pretty flexible, bendable, and all that stuff. And it comes with a SD card reader, micro SD card reader, and a micro SD card, because you can actually put this thing in the unit and record and take photos of what you're doing. So this works great for client work. The list goes on and on. As a homeowner, you run across so many things that you wish you could get a picture of this with a cell phone. You wish you could carry this idea to work to a coworker and be like, what do I need to fix this? Well, you can, but you can't get your like a camera into that area. You can't get even into that area because you just have a pinhole. Well, you can use that pinhole, fish this down there, and actually take a photograph, video, and get your second opinions and whatever you may need. But you get a cloth to clean your lens and to clean your monitor. Here is a rechargeable cable here. I think it recharges via micro USB right there. Like I said, you get the card, you get some tools. We'll go over that a little bit. You get a little manual. Everything's pretty self-explanatory. You get a piece of plastic that we all love to tear off this thing. I've had it for a little while now, so I just like waiting to tear the plastic off for whatever reason. But to get this thing up and going, you just screw this in, you match up the pins. What is this, a 2, 4, 5 pin? So you match up the pins, tighten this down, boom, you're in business. It is ergonomic, which is nice because it actually opens up here for your hand to go into and to work this thing out. Let me hook this up right quick. Pull this up. We'll go over some of the features, and then I'll go into a lot of the specs, and then I'll showcase some of the video and pictures and stuff that I've taken. Okay, so let's power up this unit. Hold this button down, which is the power button. You can see the light come on here, and as far as the screen powering on and stuff like that, it's decent. No issues with how quickly that comes on or goes off. But here's your light controls here, up here at the top right, for your brightness, for your little flashlight on the end of your scope. And then also this is a button to take a photo or video. Please insert card. Sure. But here is how you change your footage upside down, and then you can mirror move that. Here, this is better. Mirror move that left, right. This is for your own benefit, up or down, to be able to get you know, a correct shot for yourself. But your finished product will be however it is shot. So this is just a screen thing, not transferring over to your own video. You would have to flip the video or do whatever in post if you're editing video footage from this or something, which is probably not what you're going to be doing, but you're just showing your issues to someone or whatever, or retaining something amazing that you did that no one will ever be able to see, but you can see it with this. Anyway, let's go to settings. You got your resolution settings, 1080p, 720 or VGA, which I think is like 480p or something like that. So let's just get out of that. Date, time, date stamp. You can turn that on or off. I'll leave that off. Your brightness for your screen. There is your brightness for your screen. That's just going to, if it's dark, not blind you. And if it's bright outside, brighten it up. So I don't have any issues with the brightness, even outside. Format your card, space available on the card, your language, default settings, and your version. So if you want to update that for future firmware updates. The cool thing is, say you are at night working on something outside, you can push this button here and you actually have an LED on the unit itself that you could use as a flashlight to kind of leave that on, illuminate your surroundings in front of you to feel nice and safe and cozy, and then do whatever work you got to do to figure out what the problem is, what's going on with this thing outside. I'll tell you, it's always something. But yeah, that's kind of what you're like as an adult, or at least I am. It's always something, dadgummit, why at this moment in my life. And but yeah, you get a battery meter reading here. So let's just pop in an SD card and check it out. Powering down the unit is super fast. So let's just take a look at the SD card that they do give you, which is oh so sweet of them. And with 1080 footage, what are we at here on the size of the card? 16 gigabytes, so should be good with this. It's not doing anything crazy. You're not gonna shoot a movie with this thing at all. So here are your hard reset USB and your SD card slot. When you see TIFF or TF, that's kind of foreign for SD card slots. But, so, let's stick this guy in. This is IP67 rated also, if you want to know that. Let's turn this guy back on again. Go back to here. That's for photo. Long press for video. All right, so let's just take a quick picture of this on the table, photo. Go back to view this. You just do that right there. Okay. And then there we can look at our stuff. And I didn't mean to hit that. Go back. Down or up for your controls and select. So you can see a nice crisp photo. That's nice. That one's not so nice. And you can delete this by just I pushed the settings button over there when I highlighted the photo. Delete current, delete all. Let's see here. Delete current. Sure. And that one's not so good, so let's just delete that one, delete current. Okay. And then we're left with the best photo that we took. And you can see some detail in that too, so don't think you can't. You just got to get your distance right, and it has a distance that this thing will stay in focus with. Here are the little multi-tool tube. So basically you get a hook, you get a magnet, and then you get a protective sleeve that goes over the lens. So kind of when you're not using these two things, I would say to go ahead and screw on, because you do get threads for this. Screw on the protective cover that would fit over your lens, like so, to kind of try to protect that as much as possible, and you don't see that in the lens. That doesn't transfer over, so that's a good thing. So this is a little lens protector thing here to keep it from getting scratched or bumped. And then you have these two guys here, which is just a retrieval hook and a magnet. The things that you can do with it are pretty impressive. You can always check everything around the house. If you think a drain might be stopped up or something like that, give it a little looky-see. Don't work smarter, not harder. With this thing, you can work smarter. You can know what you're going to need, what the problem is before you dive into it. There's so many people that just take things apart and discover that they probably didn't even need to do that. And if you have a crack big enough to fit this camera into, it doesn't even have to go all the way down in there. But if you've got a crack big enough to see in there, you can see if your drains are stopped up, if there's hair in your sink, if there's hair in your bathtub. A cool thing that you can do is you can check out model numbers. You can look on your vehicle. If you need a part, you need to order a part, you don't have to go in there, take things apart. You know, you can look where a camera can't go because it has such a small diameter. So you can stick that thing in there, look at those part numbers, inspect your vehicle. Inspect your belt wear, inspect everything on your vehicle, which is pretty cool. You can inspect things at home as well if you want to, and you can use those tools that comes with this thing to also pick up things that you drop in places that you can't get to, so that you don't have to kill yourself to take things apart to get to something. And you can also use this in the industry for inspection purposes. You can inspect pipes, the cleanliness of pipes. You can inspect engine work, industrial machinery. You can check gearboxes, hydraulic systems, and stuff like that, reducing your downtime, which is very important because I see a lot of people doing a lot of physical labor whenever all they got to do is look at something. And so you can use that to do that. And this is cool in the electronics industry as well, because you can check on moving parts, wiring status, and all kind of stuff, because you can get up close, a lot closer than the human eye, to be able to detect it, read something. You can read numbers across a wire and stuff like that to know what you need to replace, or if you even need to replace that, if you need to resolder that. There's just a huge amount of applications for this thing. The lens focal length also is 400 to 500 centimeters. So once you go outside of that, it just gets blurry, but that's your focal length, which it has to be that way because you're trying to fit this wide dynamic of what are you going to need this for. And most of it's kind of close-up work. So I really enjoy this unit, and I highly recommend that you have one of these at home. And for the price, I think it's justified to be able to afford these now. They used to be really, really expensive, but now they come down in price. Your build quality on this thing is probably for residential more than anything. This could take a beating for a little bit, but nothing like super crazy. No kind of drop off of a handrail up above a couple stories high or something to the ground, you know, something that you would see in your industrial work life. This probably wouldn't take that fall, but residential and your casual guy, you know, like a plumber or something like that could use this. Electrician could use this. It's just whenever you start getting to aggressive industrial work, you probably need some kind of bumper system and a heavier duty system for this to not crack, but everything else seems pretty solid. I will leave a link down in the YouTube description, so if I miss any kind of specs or anything like that, it'll be in that link. And if you want to purchase it, follow that link as well, and make sure to explode on that subscribe button and ding that bell so you get notified of the next product review that I have coming out. That is one of these kind of suggestions, one of those have-to-have at home kind of things, because you never know when you're going to need it. See ya.